welcome back to another episode of Create with Miss Carrie. I don't know about you, but when it gets cold outside and I have to wear all of my mittens and my scarves and my winter hats, all I want it to do is snow. I love snowy weather. It's so beautiful, and I even like playing in it a little bit. Sometimes we don't get that much snow in my area, so I make a lot of snowman art projects instead. So we're going to do one of my favorite art projects today, a fun snowman playing at night. And it's inspired by a great book that I love reading this time of year. It's called Snowman at Night by Caralyn Buehner. One wintry day, I made a snowman, very round and tall. The next day when I saw him, he was not the same at all. His hat had slipped, his arms drooped down, he really looked a fright. It made me start to wonder, what do snowmen do at night? I think that the snowmen start to slide when it gets really dark, off the lawn and down the street, right into the park. They gather in a circle while they wait for all the others, sipping cups of ice-cold cocoa made by snowman mothers. Then the snowman games begin. They line up in their places, each one anxious for his turn in the snowman races. That's my favorite little guy. Look at him going down the hill. After everyone has had a chance at racing once or twice, they go over on the pond to do skating tricks on ice. Sometimes they start giggling and they act like clowns. They bump into each other until they all fall down. They gather up their snowballs, the pitcher takes his aim, and underneath the moonlight sky, they play a baseball game. No one knows just how it started, but soon it's quite a sight, with snowmen throwing snowballs in the world's best snowball fight. Then it's time for sledding. It's a wild ride down the hill. Wahoo! They yell. This is by far the snowman's greatest thrill. Finally, they're tuckered out and getting sleepy, so they slowly gather up their things and one by one they go. So if your snowman's grin is crooked or he's lost a little height, you'll know he's just been doing what snowmen do at night. The end. Today, we're going to make our own snowman at night, just like the story that we read. And we get to decide what our snowman looks like and what his outfit is going to have on it. So let's get started. I have a piece of white paper, and we're going to start by drawing with a pencil, and then we'll outline it when it's time to make it look amazing. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is draw a shape. It's a little bit shorter and squishier than a circle, isn't it? It's kind of an oval, and this is going to be the bottom part of our snowman. So we don't want to put it way up high because we still have two more circles to add. All right, so once you have your first shape, and look, it's about the size of my hand. So make your first circle, and then we're going to overlap our circles, or I'm going to call these ovals. They're a little bit more oval shaped than circle. Our next oval is going to sit on top, but it's going to overlap. So see how you can see through that? I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase the part of the bottom oval that you can see through. And now it looks like this one's sitting on top of this one. All right, we have another one to add, and it's going to sit on top and overlap a little bit also. And then I'm going to erase inside. There we go. All right, now we have a good beginning for our snowman. Let's give our snowman some ground to sit on. I'm going to do a wavy line that goes behind my snowman. I'm going to jump over and then keep going. All right, now it's time to add the fun stuff. So let's give our snowman a scarf. So I'm going to draw something that kind of looks like a hot dog bun. It starts on one side of the head and it curves around and then comes back. And then it has the part that hangs down like that. All right, we have a little bit more erasing to do. Every time we draw something, we have to erase the things that we overlapped, don't we? We have to sort of clean up our drawing as we go. All right, let's see. I'm going to put another tail to his scarf hiding behind here. So we've got one that comes on top and one that goes below. And I think I'm going to make my scarf have stripes. So there's stripes around the neck part. Here's stripes that come down. There we go. All right, a nice scarf. How about a hat? I love the big top hats that you see some of the snowmen wearing in this book. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line straight across the snowman's head, and it's almost halfway. That's probably halfway down. It's a little bit higher. And then we're going to draw a little line that comes back on both sides like that. All right, we could leave his hat like that, but I want a big top hat. So I'm going to put a square on top. All right, now that we've got the top hat, we have to erase the part of his head that's underneath that hat. There we go. All right, what should we do next? How about we give him some arms? All right, so he's going to have some stick arms, and I'm going to put a mitten on the end of his arm. So there's one arm, and you go over and then give him a little thumb like that. All right, so there's one stick. Let's do another one. There's the bottom. We're going to do a shape that looks like a candy cane. It goes over and stops. There's your candy cane. And now we do the thumb. And it's another little candy cane. All right, and I'm going to make that stick a little bit thicker. All right, he needs a little face, doesn't he? So we'll have some eyes. I'll make his eyes a little bit bigger than that. And he needs a carrot nose. So I'm going to do a little C shape for the end of the carrot, and then I'm going to make the pointy part. And then he needs a mouth. All right, I think our snowman is ready. He looks pretty good. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to start by outlining with a Sharpie. I just like the way the Sharpie makes everything look nice and neat. If you don't have a Sharpie, that's okay. You can use any black marker. We're not using any water today, so you don't have to have a permanent marker for this part. You just have to have a black marker that you can outline nicely with. All right, so I'm tracing all my lines. And sometimes this part is not the fun part, but the kids in my class know that if you take the time to outline, you're going to be really happy with the final results. So it's worth it. And then the last thing I'm going to outline is the ground. All right, he's looking pretty cute. Let's add some color. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some color to the snow. Now, isn't that weird that we have white snow and Miss Carrie's telling you to add color? But if you add this color, it's going to make it come to life. It's going to look amazing. So I've got two colors. I am using oil pastels, or you can use regular crayons for this project. I have a light blue and I have a light yellow. Let's start with the light blue first. So the light blue is going to act like a shadow on our snowmen. So once you have it all drawn, we have to think, where is the shadow? I'm going to add a little bit of shadow around each of the snowballs on my snowman. I'm going to start by going around the inside of his body. And I'm going to stop when I get to that edge. Then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to do the same thing. So just do a little scoop around the inside. All right, we're going to do the same thing to the face. Like that. All right, we're going to switch colors. Let's go to our light yellow, and we're going to put a little bit of yellow on the right side. Now you may be wondering, why is she doing this? Here's why. This side has light shining on it, and this side has shadow on it. So when you have them all together, it just makes for a really beautiful picture. So I always like adding light and shadow to my snowmen. Okay, let's add some color to his scarf and to his mittens. I think I want to stick with red and white. So I'm going to do a red and white scarf. It reminds me of candy canes and peppermint candy, and I love all of those things. So I'm going to color in my stripes. I think the mittens should match, so I'm going to color the mittens in too. And if you want to, you can even decorate the hat. I'm going to put a ribbon around my snowman's hat. There we go. Oh, let's move on to his nose. He needs a cute little orange carrot nose. So we'll color that in. And let's outline his arms with brown. And we have one more thing to color in, and that is his hat. So I'm going to color in his hat black. And he looks super cute. I'm even going to add a little bit of shadow. I'm taking my blue crayon. I'm going back in and I'm going to add some shadow underneath our snowman like this. Maybe there's a little shadow on the hills there. There we go. All right, so he could be done. We could say he's done, but I'm going to try to add it a little bit more interest to it. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a pair of scissors. I'm going to carefully cut out my snowman plus the snow. So when I get up to these arms, I'm going to be super careful. So if you're having a hard time going around these skinny little arms, you can always stop and ask for help. Because that's hard going around a skinny thing like that. And sometimes, here's what I do. Sometimes I'll just skip around the skinny part and cut all that extra paper off so that I don't have to fuss with it like that. Get rid of that. So that was weighing me down. Now, it's a little bit easier to cut when you don't have all that extra paper. Now I can really concentrate and go in here and work on these little sections. I'm gonna cut this one tiny little piece off. Try not to cut his arm. There we go. All right, now let me explain why I did this. Because I wanted to have a really beautiful nighttime sky behind my snowman. So I'm going to take a piece of construction paper. Now you could take lots of different colors. You could take blue or green or black to go behind here. I'm going to take purple just because I think it's fun. And I'm going to glue my snowman down on top of this. But before I do that, I'm going to make a beautiful moon for the Snowman at Night. So I have my white crayon. And way up in the corner, I'm going to draw a circle and I'm going to press down as hard as I can so that circle is really colored in well. After I have my circle, then I'm going to go lightly around it and just make more circles and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because when the moon is full and really bright and beautiful, it has this really cool glow that fills up the sky. All right, now that I've got my moon there, I can glue down my snowmen. So I'm gonna get this out of the way and turn him over, and I've got a glue stick. And I'm gonna fill up the back side with glue. once I get all the main piece glued, then I'm gonna really work on getting those little hands covered in glue too, so they stick down. Okay, so he's got glue all over the back. Let's bring him back over and push him down. See how I lined him up with the bottom of the paper? There we go. And because my paper were 2 different sizes, I'm just going to trim the extra purple off. I'm just going to go all the way up this side and trim that off. And if you wanted to make it snow a little bit, we could add some little snowflakes in the sky. You could just do little dots, or you could do little crisscrosses for your snowflakes. If you're feeling very adventurous, ooh, you could get out some glitter and some glue and make this extra sparkly. I always like to make my snow time art sparkly with glitter. All right. We are done. I hope you enjoy making your Snowman at Night. I love reading this book every year. I will see you next time for another wintry art project. See you soon.